is my journey from being an ESL teacher into owning my own online business, and I want to share exactly how I did. Hi, my name's Jess and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my journey from being an ESL teacher into owning my own online business. My plan was never to go into the classroom or to be a teacher. I always wanted to work in the travel industry. I want to tell this story from the beginning so that it makes sense as to the choices that I've made, or maybe the choices I have made in the past don't make sense, but I kind of want to give you an overview so that the outcome kind of makes sense. But I've always worked with children ever since I was 17 years old, but it's always been in very unconventional capacities. When I was 17, I worked at a hotel in Spain, and what I did was I ran the kids club there. So we did the kids activities, we did the poolside games, we did dance aerobics in the swimming pool, we did the shows on at night time. I found a love of entertaining and working with children. I think working with children is just, they live in the moment, they live in the present, and it's just a wonderful thing. The following year I went to university. Originally my degree was tourism management because I wanted to go into the travel industry. I was so fascinated with travel and I loved seeing different places, and I just thought that's what I'm going to do with my life. I'm gonna work in the travel industry, maybe manage a hotel or work abroad. I just knew I was going to work abroad somewhere. The year before I went to university in the September, I went to Camp America. Camp America is an exchange program where you go and work at a summer camp in America and you stay there for like 8 weeks, and you are a counsellor to kids. Now, my role at camp was to be a dance teacher, and I loved it. So I did that for the summer, and then I went to university. Now, for the following 4 summers, I went back to the same camp. I loved this camp. This camp is my second home. I met incredible people there. I worked with different people from different cultures. Within the summer camp for 2 years, I worked within special education. It was a very challenging experience, but it was something that I loved. I loved working with these types of children. I did that whilst I was studying at university, and originally it was tourism management, and then after a few years I changed my degree to just be purely business management because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was very confused because all of my experience was working with kids, but then I had a business degree. It just it didn't make sense, right? But once I graduated from university, I was like, okay, what's next? I left university and I was just in a regular job at home, and I found a job in the cruise industry. Now, working on a cruise ship was never my plan. It just kind of fell into my lap, and it was a spontaneous decision, and I applied. The following week I went for an interview, and literally a month later I was flying to Tampa in Florida to go on a cruise ship for 6 months. So my job on the cruise ship was very similar to what I'd done before. It was a youth activities counsellor. So you ran activities for the children, and they were aged between 2 and 16 years old. So there was a full program. It was a lot like camp. It was very high energy. It was intense. We worked for 10 plus hours a day, and you don't get a day off within the 6 months of working on a ship. It's kind of crazy, but I definitely saw some of the most beautiful places ever, and maybe I would have never got to see those without working on the cruise ship, so I was very, very grateful. We sailed all over. We went to Mexico, the Bahamas, the Caribbean, Bermuda, Canada, Hawaii, Alaska, South Carolina, and the French Polynesian Islands, New Zealand, Australia, and it was an incredible experience, and I'm very, very grateful. And I did that for 2 years. My parents came and visited me on the ship, and we saw the Northern Lights together, which I feel like is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Up until this point, as you can see, my jobs have been very fun, very energetic, very helping kids have fun on holiday. That's the role. When I would come back home to England, I always got little comments like, when are you going to get a real job? Or, when are you going to get a proper job? When are you settling down? When are you going to start your career? Now, in my mind, I was working and I was having fun. and I was getting paid and I was doing something I enjoyed. So in my eyes, like I did have a real job, and I never understood why people would say that. And I guess what they meant was like, when are you, when are you gonna come back and settle down and start a career in England? And I never wanted to. Like I was very happy, I was in my early 20s, I was traveling, I was working, I was seeing different places, working with people from different cultures. It really did dawn on me that I needed to get a real job. With all of my experience, I went to work in a primary school, which is ages 5 through 12 years old, because I'd worked with special needs children before. So I went into primary school to work within the SEN team, which is special education. Don't get me wrong, when I first started working there, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the children, I enjoyed the atmosphere, I enjoyed the real work environment, but it was very short-lived. The monotony of going to the same place every day, but it wasn't me, and it's not who I am as a person to do kind of very similar things day by day. It wasn't what I thought a teacher was, or it wasn't what I thought a teacher role was. It actually opened my mind to feel very empathetic towards teachers, because I always thought it was a great career, a wonderful job. And when I found out like the salary and the hours that teachers put in, when I was working in the primary school, my plan was to get my PGCE alongside working in the school. I discussed it with the head teacher when I first started, and I told her, like, this is what I want to do. I want to get my teaching qualification and I want to, progress. And then after a few months, I was like, it wasn't for me. It really wasn't for me. And it was sad, because it was the only real job that I could see myself doing. And I liked the education part of it. I just didn't like the rules and the systems and the Ofsted and like just things that were just, I just didn't like. I loved educating and helping children and impacting their lives, but everything else that comes along with it, like the paperwork and the planning, it wasn't like I was working and enjoying it and then having life. It was like, it was work, and I felt like a robot. I was working, eating, sleeping, working, eating, sleeping, and I lost having time to go to the gym or go to yoga or see my friends. It was just, my life was consumed with this one job, and it was because I cared about these children. I truly, hand on heart, was like, I want these children to succeed, how to make their lives better and how to help them, and it took up everything. Anyway, I was looking at other options, I was YouTubing, I was Googling, all that good stuff, and I came across online teaching. Now, at first, honestly, I thought it was a fad. I thought it wasn't a real thing. I thought it was a fake thing, online teaching. This was pre-pandemic, so not many people knew about this concept of online teaching. I researched and I looked at different companies, I watched some YouTube videos, and I thought, I'm gonna see. So whilst I was working in the school, I was also gaining my teaching English as a foreign language qualification, because I wanted to have some sort of qualification as I entered this education world. So once I'd achieved that and I still was working at the school, I was looking at different companies to apply for. I found this company and I started working for them, and the hours were, I worked on a weekend right at the beginning because I was still obviously in the classroom. I didn't have much time outside of work, but I would work from 5 a.m. until 9 a.m. and then 12 p.m. until 4 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. And that was very consistent over the course of a couple of months. And then Easter came around and I thought, I'm gonna try this week and like open up more slots, see if I can, fill my time, see if I could possibly make this a real thing, a real job. At the time, it was just like a side thing I was doing. So on Easter break, I taught full days every day, and my dog was at my feet. I was able to kind of pick the hours that I wanted. There was some flexibility in what hours you could teach. And I was like, I want to do this because I knew I could do that from anywhere. I knew that I could reduce my teaching hours one week or increase my teaching hours the next week. And it was very flexible, and I felt like I needed that for my personality and my lifestyle. When it came around to talking about September and the role that I was going to go into, I was like, I'll put the reel that I posted about that because it really makes me laugh. You'll never see me again. And I just thought, you know what? I'm gonna make this work. I don't know how, because I only worked for this one single company and I was just put my heart and soul. I was like, I'm gonna make this work. At the time, I was also in a long distance relationship. So I wanted something that I was able to do in his country and in my country. So it just kind of ticked the boxes for me. What I've learned now is a real job isn't determined by what other people think. It's determined by what feels right for you. Don't let your joy and fulfillment and what lights you up be taken out of your hands because of what society says is a real job or what other people expect of you. If you're happy and if you're in a role that you enjoy, that is a real job. If it's a real job for you and it feels right for you, then it's a real job. I loved teaching English online and I was working for different countries. I was working for a couple of different companies. What I realized was the companies that I was working for were charging parents hundreds of dollars for these English lessons. But they weren't paying the teachers hundreds of dollars. They were paying teachers a very basic wage. Now, for me, it wasn't about the wage or the amount of money I was earning. It was about I could have freedom and I could have flexibility and I could be with my dog. So I was happy. Like that's all I cared about. You know, if I could pay my rent and my bills and be happy and stay at home with my dog, tick, 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 right? But when I found out that what they were charging the parents was a lot compared to what they were paying teachers, it just didn't feel good for me. I was loving teaching at home and teaching English, but knowing this information really tainted my feelings about it. What I did was I went back to my degree and I have a business degree, and I was looking back at some lectures on marketing, and I was on YouTube about how to, market your own lessons and have your own students and, charge what feels good for you and get paid fairly, not have, big companies underappreciate your services. I slowly began marketing my own English lessons, and I kind of had a niche which was helping business professionals in the Japanese market. Every day I would be teaching business English to professionals. It was very profitable because I felt like not many people were just talking about like one thing. I was charging my own rate and it felt good. So I set up everything, my business systems, scheduling system, emails, social media, marketing, and I was like getting in the flow of it. And as a couple of months went on and I was fully booked with my own students and I'd stopped working for the companies, I realized that I was so much more interested in the social media and the systems and the emailing and the scheduling, all that business stuff. I love, like my heart was in it. The teaching English, I enjoyed it and I enjoyed doing it, but my heart wasn't in it anymore. And I think one thing to remember is you're allowed to change what you do in life. You're allowed to grow. You're allowed to pivot and do something different if it brings you joy and if it's what you want to do. As I found out about the social media and stuff, I mean, number one, I knew other teachers from other companies that I'd worked with that wanted to go independent and start teaching their own lessons. So I would help out other teachers and we would hop on calls. I would help them set up their Facebook page, their social media, their emails and their website, all of this stuff. I was doing this for free. I loved talking about it. I loved helping teachers, and I was just doing it on the side of teaching my ESL lessons. What I realized was that I loved helping teachers with the business side of it. And I couldn't, there wasn't much online about teachers going into business, but the more that I researched, I couldn't believe the amount of teachers that have set up businesses, not just teaching businesses, but any kind of business, which led me to start my podcast, which was just me interviewing teachers that had gone to build businesses outside of teaching. And I couldn't believe the amount of incredible things that teachers had done in the business world. So I wanted to make sure that everyone knew about it and other teachers knew about it too, that this is what's possible if you did want to change or if you did want to do something out of the box. My main feeling was, if they can do it, then I can do it. And if I can do it, then anyone can do it. So, I'm a huge advocate for living by your own beliefs and doing your own thing in life, even though it's against the norm. From working with these teachers, I was definitely saying the same things over and over again, especially when it came to social media. That was a massive part of question that I always was asked, or the thing that I was always talking about. So I put together an online course that walked teachers through setting up social media for their teaching business. This course was called the Teacher Academy, and I basically put what I was coaching those teachers on into an online course, and I learned myself as I went along building this course. I did want to mention, before I launched the Teacher Academy, I did launch another course, but it failed, it flopped, nobody bought it, and that's fine. It was a learning experience, but I just want to remind you that if you do launch a course and the first time around it doesn't work, you just got to tweak it a little bit so that it does work. I love working abroad and traveling and seeing different places and working with people from different backgrounds, and I think that's why I didn't enjoy the classroom as much as I thought, because I'd had this experience of being in a different environment to the classroom, and yeah, I wish I liked the classroom. And I think maybe, you know, in 50 years time, when I'm 60 years old or 70 years old, if I wanted to go back into the classroom, like, I could. The option is always there. But for me in my 20s, I was like, show me the flight ticket. Like, I want to be in an airport. Once I was out at a trampoline park with my best friend and her daughter, and we were bouncing around, and afterwards I got in my car to drive home, and I looked at my phone and I'd made 5 course sales that morning, and that equated to the same amount that I was making in my teaching business as an ESL teacher. In that moment, what I realized was everyone has a skill, a thing, a piece of knowledge that they can put into an online course that people are willing to buy. And it made me think, because people, you know, there's always like, well, you could just learn that on YouTube, or you could, you know, why would anyone buy my course? Because you could just learn it all off Google or off YouTube, which is fair enough. Like, you can learn everything to do with social media on Google or on YouTube if you spend the time and the effort looking for it. But there was nothing specifically for teachers, and it's just a gap. It was a very small gap in the market that I knew these teachers needed this help so that they could build teaching businesses, so that they could work for themselves, so that they didn't have to work for companies anymore and rely on them for income. So when it comes to building a course, if you're thinking about it, what you have is so incredible, whether it's French skills or Spanish skills or business skills, but just find that gap in the market, whether that be with parents or professionals or graduates or teenagers. Like, find that gap and fill it with your online course. Creating that first course opened my eyes even further to this online education world, and it made me understand that every single teacher has the ability to create an additional income for themselves simply by putting together a course. I didn't do anything crazy or drastic, or, you know, all I did was put what I knew into a course and sell it, and it was helping other teachers, and that was it. And when you think about it, it's a simple process. And I was like, why? Like, teachers need to know about this. Every single teacher needs to know that even if you are in the classroom, you can still create an online course and educate that way as well. If you're an online ESL teacher and you want to create another income that doesn't require you to be constantly teaching, you can put together a course. Like, this is a perfect business model for every teacher. And I'm like, I'm going to make it my mission to make sure that teachers know about this and that this option is there for them. I couldn't believe the lack of teachers and experts and professionals who aren't delivering online courses. You can search for an online course on Udemy, on Skillshare, wherever, but the people who are creating these courses aren't necessarily teachers. Like, they don't have that background, but you do, or teachers do. So I was like, people need to know about this. Last summer, I was super grateful to be able to travel and to spend 3 months in a different country, meeting new people and experiencing life. And I was only able to do that because of my online course. That's the only way I possibly could have done that. It breaks my heart seeing teachers who are so passionate about what they do but don't earn the income that they deserve. And why am I upset? when I get on calls with teachers, I want them to understand how incredible that they are, and that working online is an asset, and working online is available, and earning money online is simple if you want to do it, and earning that extra income stream. I guess that's why I'm really passionate about this, because I thought that getting a real job meant I had to be in one place every single day and travel to that place every single day and earn a set amount of money and not be able to earn any more because there isn't any career progression from that. That was what a real job was, but you decide what your real job is. And maybe you're multi-passionate like me too, and you want to still educate and still help people, but do it in a way that suits you. I was in Staten Island this summer. I was on the ferry, you know, from Staten Island to New York City, and I looked out at like the New York skyline at night and I just was like, God, if I'd have listened to other people who said like get a real job, then I wouldn't be here right now. Like, I wouldn't be enjoying the things that I love to do. And just stop it. It's not just helped me, it's helped other people to package up what they know, put it into a course, offer that course online, and help them earn an income whilst they're able to do things that they love. And that could be spending more time with your kids, or it could be just spending more time at home and having that time for yourself. Or like me, it could be traveling and seeing different places and experiencing life. When I was in that classroom, didn't think that there was any way out. I thought that this was it. Like, I'm going to train to be a teacher. I'm going to work here for the next 50 years. Like, this is my real job. And I couldn't see outside of my everyday reality. And it was heartbreaking because everyone around me was kind of not congratulating me, but they were happy that I was in a job and I was like settling down and you know just doing these things in life that people do in their 20s. But I was like, this is not what I want. Like, this is really not what I want. But here is my warning in advance. Not everyone is gonna get it. When I first told a family member about one of my successful launches of my course, and I told them and I was so excited, and they turned around and they said, well, now you're gonna have to pay more taxes. And it really made me think about the limitations or ceilings that we set upon ourselves with the amount that we earn or what we do in life. And of course, if you earn more money, you pay more taxes. Like, that's just the way it is, especially in England. But I was happy. I was so happy that I'd done it. I had this bubble and then it just went like, boop. It wasn't congratulations or gosh, you're doing something that's different, like no one else is doing that. Not everyone is gonna get it. That's just a warning in advance, but other people's opinions about what you do is none of your business. Really, we can't change it, so we just let them live. An Instagram friend of mine, Sarah, messaged me this on Sunday about how she just launched her course, and she said, course launched Thursday, 28 students so far. I don't really have anyone in my circle to share the news with that will get it, but no, you do, and this will make you smile. And that's what I mean by people are not gonna get it or approve of it or understand it, and that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It means you should do it even more, and you should prove to yourself and anyone else that if you want to make an income online, or you want to educate online, you want to educate out of the box, you want to do something different, go for it. Go for it. We have this one life, and if you're a teacher and you have this knowledge, why not use it to the best of your ability? And trust me, it's hard when people in your life, whether they're close or not, don't understand your career choices. It's difficult, but it's not about the career choice, it's about the lifestyle. It's about the lifestyle that you have, and if you're currently not happy with it, with how much you're working or how much you're making, it's all in your control to change it and to do something different and to step out of your comfort zone to create something different in your life. People love to project their mindset onto you, so when you do something different, if they're scared of the outcome, then they're gonna project that like fear onto you, which then can lead you to not doing that one thing. Imagine it's a Thursday afternoon and you're walking around your local market picking up an avocado and you're making course sales whilst you're doing that. You're still educating whilst you're doing that. No one's opinions matter in that moment because you're living the life that you want to live. So here's a quick formula if you do decide you want to get into the business world and you're a teacher and you're like, how can I just make that first step? My first tip for you is to understand that you want more. It's okay to want more. It's okay if you want more joy, more fun, more fulfillment, more money, more time with your kids, more time with your dog. It doesn't matter. If you want more, decide it now and then we can move on. The second tip is to put society's expectations, limits, that ceiling, put it away, put it to bed. We don't want to hear about it anymore. Those things have been removed. The limit is only what is going on in your brain. That's it. The third tip is to decide how can you help people. This could be through a skill that you have, an experience that you've had, something you've overcome before and you can help someone else overcome the same thing. How can you help someone? Tip number 3. Tip number 4 is to decide how you are going to package up that, how you can help people into a sellable product, whether that be a service or a digital product like a course. That's your simple business formula. Don't overthink it. Online business is just offering value in exchange for money. So if you have something of value, which you do, you can offer that in exchange for money. That's it. It's a very, very simple formula. You have the ability to create the income that you desire with the knowledge and skills that you already have. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do want to get into course creation and you've decided this is the right next step for me, I'll leave the link to the Your Way program below. The Your Way program is my signature 5-phase course that teaches you exactly how to package up what you know and put it into a profitable online course. It's set out in 5 phases which you can learn in your own time, on your own schedule, around your current commitments, and you will learn how to build your course business from the ground up. So from the bottom, everything to do with who your course is for, what your course idea is. We generate some ideas for your course. We talk to people, we do market research. From there, we then go on to build your course curriculum, what's going to be in it, videos, text, PDFs, quizzes, that kind of stuff. The next stage of the program is to understand how to market your course successfully so that you have students enrolling. The 4th phase is all about social media because social media is the key to connecting with people and your potential course students. And phase 5 is talking you through the systems to build your course. Tech shouldn't be a barrier between you entering the course business or online business in general because it's something that you can easily learn. So in phase 5, I walk through every single system that you'll need in your online business. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you do have any questions or you want to talk about whether building a course is going to be right for you, I'll leave a link below where you can schedule a 15-minute chat with myself and we can talk about courses and if the Your Way program is right for you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for listening to my mini life story. I hope you enjoyed it and I will see you in the next video. Bye!